Charlie Kirk, who built a strong following in the conservative movement, is dead at the age of 31, confirmed by President Donald Trump.
There seemed to be stuff on social media that suggested people knew this was going to happen or something was going to happen. I want to see where those investigations are at. I want to see where those investigations lead.
Why do people immediately question the death of powerful political figures? When someone influential dies suddenly, people rarely just accept it as a tragedy. Instead, they start asking a different question. Was it really that simple? That's exactly what happened after the death of Charlie Kirk. Kirk was a major figure in the conservative politics and the founder of Turning Point USA, one of the largest youth political movements in the United States. In September of 2025, he was shot and killed during a speaking event at Utah Valley University while addressing a crowd of thousands. The suspected gunman was arrested and charged with murder. But almost immediately after that assassination, some people started asking deeper questions, not necessarily because they had proof of a conspiracy, but because history has conditioned people to wonder. Because this isn't the first time an influential figure died, in a way that left people questioning everything. So when news of Charlie Kirk's death spread, a lot of people didn't just see a tragedy. They saw a pattern. Throughout history, when someone gains the ability to influence millions of people, their story sometimes ends in a way that leaves the public with more questions than answers. And that raises a bigger question. Why do people immediately suspect something deeper when powerful figures die? To understand that, we have to look at other moments in history where influential leaders died and the public was left wondering if the full story was ever told. And once you see those examples, you might understand why people started asking questions about Charlie Kirk. That's what we're getting into in part 2.
Good evening. Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee. Police have issued an all-points bulletin for a well-dressed young white man seen running from the scene.
2 priests who were with President Kennedy say he is dead of bullet wounds. This is the latest information we have from Dallas. I will repeat with the greatest regret, 2 priests who were with President Kennedy say he has died of bullet wounds.
To understand why people question events like this, you have to look at history. Take, for example, Martin Luther King Jr. During the civil rights movement, he wasn't just giving speeches. He was mobilizing massive protests and pushing the country to confront racial injustice. Millions of Americans were listening. Then there was John F. Kennedy. As president, JFK had enormous influence over the direction of the country. He spoke openly about reducing Cold War tensions and warned about the growing power of what he called the military-industrial complex. Both of these figures had something in common. They had the ability to influence millions of people. And throughout history, whenever someone reaches that level of influence, their death often raises uncomfortable questions. Ask one thing: who benefits? The question, right or wrong, has followed major political tragedies for decades. Which brings us back to Charlie Kirk. So, history shows us something interesting. When leaders with massive influence die suddenly, people almost always ask the same question: who benefits? That question followed the death of Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy. Not because everyone believed a conspiracy, but because people know that power and influence shape politics in a way most of us never see. Now bring that idea back to today. Charlie Kirk had built one of the most powerful youth political movements in the country. Millions of followers, massive reach on social media, and a growing influence over younger voters. So someone with that level of influence is suddenly gone. Some people start wondering if there's more to the story. Now, to be clear, questioning events doesn't automatically mean there was a conspiracy, but questioning power has always been part of how democratic societies function. So the real question isn't just about Charlie Kirk. The real question is this: Is asking difficult questions dangerous, or is it exactly what a free society is supposed to do?